Welcome to the 9-part series on stability versus stagnation. This is episode 1. There's this thing that's really deceptive that can happen in a person's life. It's not chaos and it's not crisis. It's comfort. Because honestly, the most dangerous phase in someone's life is really not when everything's falling apart. It's when things are working just well enough that you stop questioning them. Your job pays the bills. Your relationship isn't terrible. Your routine is predictable. Your environment is manageable. Everything looks stable, yeah? But internally, something starts happening that you don't quite recognize at first. You stop expanding, and expanding is a natural state in life. Trees expand, ideas expand, humans expand. But stagnation is sneaky because it doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't show up like a disaster. It shows up as routine. You wake up, you do the same thing, you solve the same problems, and you have the same thoughts. And slowly, without realizing it, your life moves into maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is when your life becomes less about building something meaningful and more about preserving what already exists. And the longer that someone lives in maintenance mode, the more their internal world starts to shrink. Their curiosity shrinks, their risk tolerance shrinks, their imagination shrinks, and eventually their identity shrinks too. Why? Because identity is built through expansion. When you stop expanding, you stop discovering new parts of yourself. You start living instead of that old version of whoever you are. And here's the part that people struggle with, like this part right here. Stagnation doesn't always feel bad, especially not at first. In fact, it feels responsible. It looks mature. It looks like you did the right thing. You're not rocking the boat. You're not creating instability for anybody. You're not taking crazy risks that interrupt your life. And society rewards that. In fact, society praises people who are predictable. But the soul doesn't survive on predictability alone. And the soul needs to thrive. It needs exploration, challenge, creation, movement. So when a person's environment stops requiring growth, the psyche will start feeling something strange. It's like a quiet dissatisfaction. Not misery, just subtle discomfort. You start noticing things like the boredom. You feel irritated by small stuff. Maybe you're less motivated. Maybe you procrastinate more. You start questioning your direction. And because nothing is technically wrong, people always suppress these feelings. And that's when you start telling yourself, well, I should be grateful. And gratitude's important. It is. But gratitude doesn't mean that you should stop evolving. You can still appreciate your life while recognizing that you're meant to grow beyond it. And stability is supposed to support your growth. Stability is a foundation, not a cage. But stagnation will turn stability into a cage. The routine that once supported your growth will become the thing that limits it. The environment that once helped you thrive will become the environment that limits you. And the longer that someone stays in that environment, the harder it is to see clearly. Because humans adapt. We good like that. We normalize everything. We normalize boredom. We normalize dissatisfaction. We normalize environments that don't challenge us. And eventually we start believing that this is just simply what life is. But life is not meant to be lived on autopilot. Do not ask if your life is stable. Always ask, is my life expanding? If your life isn't expanding, then neither is your identity. And if your identity isn't expanding, then you're just becoming a smaller version of yourself. Little identity, little looking ass. And the tragedy of stagnation is not that life becomes more difficult. The tragedy is that life becomes smaller. And nobody wants that, right? All right, let's go to episode 2.